What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the Just Cuz TV channel. My name is Anthony, and this week we have the Week 9 NFL game-by-game pick'ems, odds, spreads, and betting show for you guys coming at you this week. As you can see right below me, we got a little bit of a short staff here this week. We are missing the co-founder, Cousin Steve, but as always, we are joined by our special guest, Dr. Wes. What's going on, man?
What's going on, Mama Anthony?
Mama Anthony. All right, we're sticking with the female side for the fourth week in a row, I
Running
believe.
out of relatives here.
We're gonna have to come up with some, I think. We're gonna get back into it. Two-man show this week. You ready for some fire takes?
Oh, let's do it. I got some fire for you.
Let's do it. Let's hop right into it, guys. Just as a reminder, just before we get into it, all the odds and lines that you see are brought to you by DK Sportsbook. That's the only place we use to make our bets. It's fantastic, and they are obviously subject to change as the week goes on. We do film on Tuesday evening, so these are obviously not the final picks, but these are what we're going off of to make our picks. And all of our picks you see at the bottom are going to be straight up. We do not make spread picks. There are plenty of other shows where you get that kind of analysis as the week goes on. The spread picks the picks are just for us. For our final tally that we got going there. And speaking of the tally, if you look at last week, what a result. 8 all across the board. Everyone won last week. No ground was lost. No ground was made up. Steve, still the leader in the clubhouse with 3 wins in a row and 4 out of the last 5.
Yeah.
What?
So we're going to have Steve submit his picks, and we'll tweet them out just for the sake of the show. I was challenged last week by Civilian Jimmy, and again, Civilian Jimmy is just coming up short. He got 6 wins. So no challenger can beat me, apparently. I have the Herbert rookie card. Oh, it just disappeared from the screen. I have a Herbert rookie card here, looking fresh in his Oregon Ducks uniform. So I'll send this to anybody that can beat me in the comments. Pick all the games straight up against no spread. If you beat me, I'll send you that card. We already sent one to Jake Jacobs. He's got the Burrow rookie. So
yeah, congratulations to Jake. Get it, guys. Let's go. Beat Dr. Wes. Leave a like on the video. Drop your straight up picks in the comments. We love to see the engagement and all that stuff. Always fantastic. We do have a Twitter account as well. If you guys don't mind following us there, it's at JustCuzTV1. If you want to get after it there, I always tweet out when the videos go live. We got plenty of stuff coming up as usual. It's fantastic, man. Are you ready to hop into this stuff?
let's do it.
No big three, no analysis this week. It's just myself and my main man, Dr. Wes, hopping into all the games on Thursday night. We've got the 5-2 Green Bay Packers traveling to the 4-4 San Francisco 49ers, hit by the injury bug again. We'll get to that here in just a second. Green Bay, a 5-point road favorite on Thursday night on a short week with an over-under of 50. As of right now, though, Dr. Wes, it appears the Packers only have one available running back to use this week in Tyler Ervin, as A.J. Dillon was put on the COVID list, and Jamal Williams already deemed ineligible to play due to being a high-risk close contact to Dillon. Aaron Jones, he's working his way back from that calf injury. He's still questionable this week. While San Fran's injury woes, man, they just continue to pile up. Jimmy G is out again for the next couple of weeks at least with his ankle sprain. Can't seem to get healthy. While George Kittle, he's out for 8 weeks with a broken bone in his foot. I saw some stat. I think it was the 49ers have $70 million in cap space sitting on IR this year. Just insane. So man, lead us off here. Which team will limp to a win?
That is a fun fact. I don't understand, to begin with, the quote-unquote close contacts. Like, the people that were tackling A.J. Dillon and laying on top of him were not closer than Jamal Williams was. I don't understand how that works.
Breathing on him after he gets tackled is not close enough for contact.
What do I know? I'm just a doctor. But, standing in the huddle, like, hey, everybody, nobody's wearing masks, so I don't know. I don't understand why they're doing that. But regardless, I think that, running back in today's game is probably the least important position. So if you're going to have an injury, it's good to be at the running back position. I think that without Kittle and without Garoppolo, I mean, who are they going to play? Beat hard?
I think it's Nick Mullins, actually.
Oh,
that's Mullins. What I saw.
Okay.
Yeah,
Mullins. He's gonna. If you don't have George Kittle to throw to, that's a major problem. They already have enough, people missing on that side of the ball. So I'm going to take the Packers. I don't feel strongly about it, but I just I think that with everything that San Francisco is missing, you got to go with Green Bay.
It's kind of insane, right? You got Nick Mullins now handing the ball off to JaMychal Hasty and throwing to Brandon Ayuk.
This is like a classic Thursday game. Like Thursday
It,
games are always kind of underwhelming.
I'm not very interested in watching this game. Typically Thursday nights are like my football nights, right? It's like the end of the week.
Yeah,
You're preparing for the
yeah,
weekend. I love Thursday night football.
I
This
agree.
game, I just don't care. I don't know. I don't think this is going to be a very highly watched game. It is election night, by the way, so my vote for this game is going towards the Green Bay Packers. Had to work that in there.
Mm-hmm.
If Aaron Rodgers and Devonta Adams are healthy, that's really all you need for this game, I feel like. San Fran is way too beat up. I will say that I actually do like Green Bay minus the points here. I just don't. If you're going to take Nick Mullins in an offensive foot race against Aaron Rodgers, you're going to have problems, I feel like. So I don't think Nick Mullins is going to be able to keep this game particularly close, but I could see something like 30-23 maybe where they still cover, something along those lines. 23 points, they can get there, I think, with Mullins. They're perfectly capable, but give me the Packers. And as Dr. West put perfectly, we do not have Steve's picks. We will get those for you as soon as possible. I will tweet those out to keep everything fair before all the games start. But as of right now, we got a sweep for the Packers on Thursday night.
Yeah.
And unfortunately for our first Sunday game, Steve is not here to talk about his beloved Denver Broncos and that awesome comeback that Drew Lock led last week in the fourth quarter. They are 3-4 now, traveling to the 2-6 Atlanta Falcons. The Falcons are 4-point home favorites here, with again an over/under set at 50. Denver, they scored 3 fourth quarter touchdowns last week to beat the LA Justin Herberts 31-30. While Atlanta, on the other hand, they are coming off a surprising road win at the Panthers in a game where Calvin Ridley did have to leave with a foot injury. So injuries all over the NFL piling up, not even to mention COVID. Kind of insane. Matt Ryan, though, Dr. West, leads the league in passing with 2,462 yards, but only 12 passing touchdowns. The man cannot find the end zone. On the other side, though, Drew Lock, he had 3 touchdowns in the fourth quarter. He has 4 passing touchdowns all year so far. Yes, he missed some games, but 3 out of your 4 in one quarter does not look good. Can they keep the ball rolling, though, against the Falcons?
I am swearing off the Falcons just like I did last week. If you remember, I said I would never pick them again. So de facto is going to be the Broncos. I'm pissed that last week I chose the Panthers to beat the Falcons, and the Falcons were well on their way to blowing another second half lead. And what did they do? They hit a dirty hit on Teddy Bridgewater. Fowler tried to trip him, and then the other guy head to head hit him in the back. It was dirty. They're like, the only way we can not blow a lead is just by injuring the other starting quarterback. So done with them. Ever since the Dirty Bird left Atlanta, the franchise has gone downhill. I'm done with them.
Done. The Falcons are done. Atlanta, it appears they may be without Calvin Ridley this week. Denver, they've done a decent job of limiting opposing quarterbacks so far this year. They kept Justin Herbert, who came in on fire, to only 278 yards on 43 attempts. Not a good yards per attempt there. They held Mahomes the week before that to only 200 yards. Yes, they got obliterated, but the thing for Denver is they can stop quarterbacks. And even if you can do that on the road here, it's going to be a dome game. It might be a little bit faster kind of game. Atlanta, they've been inconsistent. So, Dr. West, man, we're rolling here. We're rolling together so far this week. I like the Broncos. I like them, especially the +4. I love that because they can lose 27-24 and they still cover. I love the +4. I think it's a good number. I think they can win outright here. What do you think, Dr. West? Do you think they could? I think the +4. Obviously, you took the +4. Do you think that's a good number? Do you think it should be less than that?
I do personally. The Falcons just have not shown that they can win a game when they're ahead. I don't know what their record is at home this year, but I don't remember them winning at home, which is kind of counterintuitive. I think if you're going to pick this game, if you're thinking that if you're going to lean towards the +4, it might be even worth just picking them on the money line, because I think if the Broncos win, they're going to win handedly, because the Falcons tend to struggle with teams that slow it down and play tough. The Falcons kind of spread it out and just want to beat you in a finesse type sprint type game. So these are the teams that they kind of have trouble with.
Yeah, so Dr. West, to your point, the Falcons, they're 0-4 at home so
There
far
you
this
go.
year. And now I think without Calvin Ridley, I think Denver's going to be a lot more comfortable maybe sticking AJ Boye on Julio Jones.
Yeah.
So it's going to come back to Hayden Hurst and Russell Gage and Todd Gurley to
Woof.
beat the Broncos. And I don't know if that's the formula here. I like
I
Denver
don't think
plus
so.
4. Dr. West likes Denver plus 4. That will take us to our next game. We got the 6-1. This is gonna be a good one. I'm ready. 6-1 Seahawks traveling to the 6-2 Buffalo Bills. Seattle, a 3-point road favorite here with a really high over/under. It might be the highest, I believe, at 54, if I remember correctly, doing a little bit of research before the video. But get this, Seattle, they are averaging 33.4 points per game over their last 5 games. Humongous offensive output. Their problem has been they're allowing 28.8 points per game. Really close games here, despite all the points they're scoring. Meanwhile, Buffalo, I think they've officially hit the pause button on offense. They're averaging less than 19 points per game over their past 4. They can't seem to score, but they've won 2 big divisional games in a row over the Jets and the Patriots to have a stranglehold on this AFC East. The Josh Allen MVP vote has hit a standstill, though. I feel like he has 4 passing touchdowns over the past 4 games. So that train has completely derailed. Dr. West, though, Seattle has been your NFC pick all year, I feel like, and you've routinely picked against the Bills. You going to stick with Seattle?
If I was smart, I would. But I just have this gut feeling that the Bills are going to win. You were right. This is the highest over-under game. And I think that's a reflection of the Seattle defense is just horrendous. It is no longer the Legion of Doom. They're just lucky that they are able to put up points in bunches. But I think that the plan for the Bills will be to slow this game down and to make it as difficult as possible for the Seahawks to put up a bunch of points. If they can slow it down, make it a game on the ground. I don't know if Chris Carson's coming back. I don't think he is. I just think that the Bills can grind out a close game at home.
Yeah, I wouldn't rush Chris Carson back by any means when you're 6-1. Yeah, the NFC West is kind of a madhouse right now with how good it is, but the man's your workhorse running back. DJ Dallas filled in very well last week, I feel like. I will say the stat that I saw about Russ this week, you may have seen it as well. He spends roughly $1 million per year on his body to stay in shape. Did you see that?
No, I did not.
Yeah, between private workouts, between a chef, he has 2 hyperbaric chambers. The man wants to be Tom Brady. He wants to play till he's 45. Josh Allen, he's not doing that, and it may show with his horrible play in the past couple of weeks. 4 passing touchdowns across the past 4 weeks isn't going to get it done. I think he may throw for 4 here, but I think Russ is going to throw for 5. I'm going to take the Seahawks here. I think this game's going to be really, really fun. I'm taking Seahawks -3. I think this game's got like 35-28, 35-31 written all over it. Kind of like the Bills Rams game we had a couple weeks ago, where like the Bills got to this huge lead. Seattle's going to come back like they did against the Vikings here and take this game on the road.
Yeah. All right.
You with the spread there at +3 though for the Bills? You think that's
I would take the
enough?
Bills +3. I like that spread, and I would take the under on this game because I just think that I don't know what the weather is going to be in Buffalo, but it's getting to be that type of time of year where it's going to get a little bit nasty in Buffalo, and I think they're going to try to slow it down and make this give the Seahawks as few of possessions as possible.
See, we're completely different, man. I'm taking the Seahawks -3 and the over. This is going to be
Well,
good.
We'll see.
We'll
All
see
right.
on this one. 2 completely different takes on the same game. That's why you come here, right? Just for
That's right.
all the information. We're going to be split here. That will take us to our next game. We've got the 5-3 Chicago Bears traveling to the 5-2 Tennessee Titans. Chicago, yet again, they are an underdog. We say it every single week. I feel like this team has a winning record, yet they are the underdog. You have under set at 46.5. Chicago, they have now lost 2 in a row. They've only averaged 17 points a game on offense over their past 5 games. Not good. They are going to need to put up a lot more points, as Tennessee is averaging almost 32 points a game in their past 5. But their last two losses have been to the AFC North. Derrick Henry, he leads the league in rushing yards with 775, which is more than 100 over second place Dalvin Cook. Who are you going to roll with, Dr. West?
It's interesting. Is Chicago is they're already their fans are calling for Trubisky to come back, and that's never a good
Oh,
sign if
boy.
you want Trubisky to come back. That
Woo.
means that Nick Foles is not playing well. The Titans, I knew I should have taken the Bengals last week. It was the classic scenario of just like rolling into town against a bad team and just not winning,
Laid an
not putting in
egg.
the effort. Yeah,
Yeah.
just absolutely. You see it in the NFL every year. It happens all the time. The team that clearly should win, they just come in and just shit the bed. Just like the Chiefs against the Raiders this year, just like the Colts against the Jaguars. It happens every once in a while. I'm not going to take too much stock into that. I think that the Titans are clearly the better team, and I will take them all day. I'll take them the -5.5. I love it.
Yeah, I'm with you, man. I've said it all year. Chicago's not good. Their offense is not good. Matt Nagy is not an offensive mind like they thought he was coming in here. Nick Foles is not the answer. Trubisky is not the answer. Like, you must be in Chicago, man. Like, they're playing tricks on Chicago right now. Look at this. Like, they don't know who their quarterback should be. Nick Foles is not the answer. Trubisky is not the answer. This one's pretty easy, I feel like. It's going to be Tennessee for me. Allen Robinson needs to get out of Chicago ASAP. Like, some of these catches I've
Yeah.
seen this man make over the past couple of weeks, like, imagine if he had some decent quarterback throwing him the ball. How good he
Yeah.
would be. The man would put up 1,800 receiving yards easily, in my opinion. Easily. Like, the dude's got to get out of there. Tennessee should roll here, and they rebound after two straight losses against a really bad Bears team. Over under, though, I think that looks about right. I probably wouldn't touch it because you got to think the Bears
Yeah.
are going to score 17 points. Can the Titans put up 30 though? If Derrick Henry's running all over them, I don't know. I think I might side with the under on this game.
This will
Honestly,
probably be the slowest game of the week in terms of number of plays.
yeah,
Uh,
yeah.
I agree. I think the under is probably the play, but I think the number is perfect, and I would not touch that.
Yep, I would avoid this game. I mean, Chicago could win this game. Tennessee's lost two in a row. I don't think they lose three in a row here, especially against the horrible, horrible Bears. That will take us now to the 5-2 Ravens. Didn't expect to see that record this early in the year. Traveling to the 5-2 Indianapolis Colts. The Ravens are roughly a field goal road favorite here with an over-under set at 45. Quite low, I feel like. Baltimore, their two losses so far this year, they've come to the 7-1 Chiefs and the 7-0 Steelers. Two good losses to have on your resume. Meanwhile, Indianapolis, they've lost to the 5-3 Browns and the 1-6 Jaguars. Yes, the Jaguars' one win is against these Colts. Baltimore, they come in 3-0 on the road, while Indy, they are 3-0 at home. Dr. West, so something's got to give here. Who you got?
I am concerned about the AFC Championship possibilities of the Ravens. They just have looked out of sorts. They don't look as dominant as they. I mean, last year it looked like Lamar Jackson was playing. He was on Madden, and everybody else was. Their speed was like 20 points less than his.
It was on rookie mode.
Yeah, it was just like it was a video game to him. And this year he looks more human. The Colts, I still think, are kind of a fraudulent team. The teams they beat just aren't that good. Last week we had a viewer calling us out saying we were sleeping on the Lions, and the Lions got smoked. So I feel good about that.
Yeah.
But long story short, I think that the Ravens are a better team. Like you said, the teams that they've lost to are very good. And I think that the Ravens are going to bounce back. They're going to come back. And I think they want blood because people are already talking bad about them like I am right now. And I would easily take the -2.5. I think they're going to win this by 2 touchdowns probably.
Oh, you took the words right out of my mouth. This might be the easiest 2.5 point cover I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah.
The talk of the town in the AFC right now is Chiefs versus Steelers in the AFC Championship. I think that's right where Baltimore wants to be, in my opinion. They're tired of people saying, "Oh, Lamar, he's a cheat code," right? Now we're like, "Oh, he looks human," until we get to the end of the year, and here he comes. I'm not a Lamar guy. Let's be real. I went to UK. He went to Louisville. I was not a fan of him at Louisville. I'm not a fan of him now. I'm a Bengals fan. He's on the Ravens, but he is the much better quarterback here. The Colts are rolling out a 76-year-old man whose ADOT is absolutely awful. He looks like he struggles to throw the ball past the line of scrimmage a lot of the time. It's just not good. T.Y. Hilton is a ghost. Lamar, he's the reigning MVP. He wants revenge. He wants blood. Give me the Ravens and give me the easiest 2.5-point cover you will have this year. Very, very
Yeah.
easy. But, Dr. West, over or under 45, though?
I'm taking the over. I think
I
this is going to turn into a track meet.
I take the over as well. I think the Ravens are going to put up 30. So, can the Colts
Yeah.
put up 14? Yeah, I think so. I think that's feasible. 45 seems way too low here for the Ravens team who could put this up themselves. Again, let's be real. We said it a couple weeks ago. They could put up 45s themselves, even against a good defense. So, 2.5 and the over on 45. That will take us to a team we have completely sworn off this year, I'm convinced. The 3-5 Carolina Panthers now traveling to what I still think is a surprising 7-1. Yes, they dismantled the Jets. We'll get to that. Kansas City 10.5-point home favorite here. Over under at 52.5. Carolina, they should be getting Christian McCaffrey back from what I've been reading after his stint on the IR, but his amount of involvement this week is still unknown. They got to work him back in. Mike Davis has looked okay. He's been in a rut the past couple weeks, though. I mean, let's be real, it is Mike Davis. The man couldn't even play for the Bears. And unfortunately for the Panthers, they are coming to Kansas City to play a team that literally just played a warm-up game versus the Jets last week. Mahomes, man, get this. He threw for 416 yards, 5 touchdowns, and what was probably the most effortless 405, game you'll ever see in your life. I don't think they show any signs of slowing down this week. I know Steve has mentioned that Carolina is dead to him. Is Carolina dead to you, Dr. West?
Yeah, they're dead to me. I mean, not completely dead, I should say. I mean, I think they got robbed of a game last week when Teddy Bridgewater got targeted. But that being said, they're just no match for the Chiefs. And I don't think you need to say that much. I'm not a big person in taking double digit, having to swallow those kind of points, but I think I would in this scenario.
I'm kind of with you there. Yeah, so get this. I have this yo-yo theory with the Chiefs, right? Last week was the down week versus the Jets. This is now the up week. They're at home. Carolina's offense is not been very good. I think they're going to work back in McCaffrey. That's going to kill their flow on offense, I feel like. Bridgewater, he might be hurt. He has like a neck stinger, so he may not be at 100%. We'll see. I don't think they're going to be able to take deep downfield shots to Robbie Anderson. Dr. West, what's going on, man, this week? I totally agree, and I also like the minus 10.5. I think this is, they win, 30-13 or something like that. Not within.
I think that's right. We don't have Steve to break our ties. That's a shame, but them's is the breaks.
Yeah, I mean, maybe it's good for the viewers that we're all on the same page here and have the same deal about these games, so maybe they can disagree with us and go make some money this week or something like that.
Yeah.
So,
This Herbert.
Let's move on to the team that we got called out for in the comments last week. Appreciate the comment, though, man. We'll always take it. Love the banner in football. We don't take anything personally here. The 3-4 Detroit Lions traveling to the 2-5 quote-unquote resurgent Minnesota Vikings. They are a 4-point home favorite here with an over-under of 52.5. The Lions, they are coming off a 41-21 thumping by the Colts. Absolute demolished. While the Minnesota Dalvin Cooks picked up a surprising win in Green Bay last week, 28-22, on the back of his 230-plus total scrimmage yards and 4 touchdowns. Yes, he accounted for every single point that Minnesota scored last week. So, Dr. West, is Minnesota rounding a corner, or can Detroit rebound here in this divisional matchup?
Boy, I hope that the Minnesota Vikings are rounding a corner. I picked them to win the division this year.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, they're just such a frustrating team to watch. I mean, it's like if you watched them last week, you'd be like, "Oh yeah, this team's definitely winning this division." You watch them any other week, and you're like, "What is this garbage?" Uh,
They're almost like Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. I feel like
yeah,
you
for
can't figure them
sure.
out.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, when things are going well, things are going great for the Vikings. That being said, just like the viewer said last week, I'm still sleeping on the Vikings. I mean, excuse me, the Lions. I don't think that they're that great. I'm going to take the Vikings in what I hope is a resurgence. I don't know how long it's going to last. I wouldn't bet on this game just because it just seems wrong
There's a feel
to bet a
here.
2-5 team to win by more than 4 points. So that's what I
Yeah,
think.
I would love to get Steve's take on this game. He's been a Matt Stafford guy, and I think
Yeah,
he's also been on the Vikings a lot this
yeah.
year. This would be the ultimate, tear right down the middle. Flip a coin. Steve, who you take in this game? We're waiting for your picks. Again, the assessment. Dr. West, what is happening this week? This is strange. Maybe we're in simpatico without Steve, in
Yeah,
the
it could
middle of
be.
us, breaking us
When you,
apart. Um,
yeah.
I could not agree more. I don't like the -4 for the Vikings. I'm taking them to win, but this has 26-23 written all over it. Someone's going to get a last-second field goal to win this game. Who it is, I have no idea. I like the +4 for Detroit, honestly. Wouldn't bet the over/under or anything like that. It's Detroit. You never know what Detroit team's going to show up. You never know what Minnesota team is going to show up. But as for the spread, give me Detroit +4, but Vikings money line essentially in this one. I'm taking them to win. Um, Not much else I don't feel like with this game. I don't know what else we can talk about. Nothing else to talk about other than let's move to, oh boy, man, another NFC East matchup on the books for this week. We've got the 1-7 Giants traveling to the 2-5 Washington Buckeyes, as we like to call them here on the channel. Washington, the pretty typical 3-point home favorite between two horrible teams that can't score any points. 41.5, just a putrid over under. These two teams, they have a combined 3 wins so far, but Washington, they only sit a game and a half behind the Eagles. And, the Giants, despite being 1-7, they're not out of it either. Really surprising here. Dallas is they are all over the place. This NFC East division is so bad. Where do we begin?
Well, I swore off the Washingtons when they benched Dwayne Haskins, and I still hate them for that. And I'm not a Kyle Allen guy,
He's a
but
jabroni.
he's a jabroni. I mean, I've already said it. You can replay the tape. I still believe it. But I think that the Giants are just putrid. I mean, Saquon Barkley is the only sign of life in that team, and he's been gone for weeks. So yeah, I mean, I think you have to take the Washingtons, but this is a game that I have no interest in watching. Uh, I've said it all year. Thank God that the NFC East plays amongst themselves, so at least one team gets a win. I wouldn't be shocked if this ended up in a tie because that's just what the NFC East does.
Yeah.
Um,
Something like
but
11-11 too. Like not even like an actual score.
oh yeah, just horrible, just horrible. I hope Chase Young just is chasing Daniel Jones around all day. But yeah, I mean, what can you say? Two bad teams. I think Washington is slightly less bad.
Yeah, if this is the game on in your area, I apologize. Find something else to watch. This isn't going to resemble football. It's going to be terrible to watch. Although, we have one of our first disagreements, or I guess it's our second one for
Wow.
this week. I watched that Monday night game versus the Bucks. They played very well, I feel like. I wouldn't say Daniel Jones was a superstar by any means, but I think that them getting like Sterling Shepard back, Slayton looks good. Tate is going to fill in for 3 catches every week, maybe a touchdown. Evan Ingram is picking up a little bit of steam, I feel like. The passing offense is there, and I think they can throw on Washington. I think that's going to be the difference maker here. Is you got Terry McLaurin for the Washingtons versus what I think is actually a much better wide receiver core for the Giants. Had they picked up that 2-point conversion, by the way, they might have had a chance in overtime. You never know how the
Yeah.
game could have went. I'm going to take the Giants just on the wide receiver core that they have. It's up to Daniel Jones. Can he be protected and can he make accurate throws? I saw so many throws to Darius Slayton against the Bucks that were overthrown by 3 or 4 yards.
Oh yeah.
And he had pressure around him on all of those. Had that pressure not been there, I think they would have been just a little bit more accurate. Darius Slayton, get this stat, he's 7th in the NFL in air yards for this season. So they're airing it out to Slayton. They're getting him the ball down the field. They're going to take shots here against Washington. I'm going to take the Giants, and Dr. West disagreeing and going back to his Buckeyes.
Yeah, begrudgingly, but yeah, I think Daniel Jones is the poor man Josh Allen, and I don't know. I just don't have that much faith in him.
He scampered for, what was it, 60 yards on. He ran like 21 miles an hour. He's got some unknown speed that was untapped until then. I feel like he had to be chased.
Him and Uncle Rico throw it over the mountains too.
I don't even know where to go from there. Let's move on to two other dumpster fires. Why not, right? Let's get into it. Both these teams are 1-6. Houston's traveling to Jacksonville. Houston's only win so far this year has been against Jacksonville while they were at home, but they come in a 7-point road favorite here with an over-under set at 51. Boy, oh boy, right? The Houston Texans, I don't think any of us saw this coming, that they'd be 1-6, but I feel like they're getting a reprieve here. They are traveling to the Jaguars. They have announced that rookie quarterback out of Oregon State, Jake Luton, is getting the start after Minshew is out indefinitely with a thumb injury. Not much more analysis to do here. Dr. West, can the rookie pick up the win, or will Houston roll the Jaguars yet again?
You say nobody saw them being 1-6, but I feel like I specifically told you that the Texans were going to be trash.
Touche.
And I put real money on their under 7.5. It's looking like a brilliant bet right now. That being said, you got to take them against the Jags and a backup to the backup. I mean, they're clearly the better team. Whether or not either of these teams have any interest in playing or showing up is another question. And these are the games that you can lose your shirt on in the NFL. Like, you'll bet the Texans because they're clearly the better team, but then they just are like, well, we're way out of the playoffs and we don't want to get injured, so we're not going to do anything heroic. The Texans would be better off trading J.J. Watt, who is past his prime. I think they need to trade away some pieces and they tried to trade Will Fuller, but apparently them and the Packers couldn't make an agreement. I think they just got to trade away pieces and rebuild around Deshaun Watson, get him a line that can actually protect him. I don't know why you would trade for David Johnson. Yeah.
Like on that Will Fuller stuff, the Packers weren't interested because they wanted to keep their draft capital, apparently is what I saw. They didn't want to give up draft picks. Which, let's be real, they just used a draft pick on Jordan Love. So what do they know about draft picks?
Yeah, and they should be trying to win now. I mean, they're clearly the front runner in their division. So, like, what are you saving your draft capital for?
Yeah.
They've always done things weird. They've always done things weird in Green Bay, but it seems to work out. So,
yeah,
whatever. But they do things kind of differently.
Yeah, oh my gosh. What I would do, the Packers, that'd be a fun offense with Devontae Adams on one side and Will Fuller on the other. Will Fuller not as a number one. Sign me up for
nobody
that.
Nobody would ever be healthy, but it'd be fun to watch when they were.
Very true. It'd be the Green Bay injuries where they have to change their team name to just an injury, like a Band-Aid or something like that. For me, Houston's offense, they were showing life before the bye hit. They were averaging about 28.5 points a game in their prior 3 games before the bye. They get a Jags team they've already beaten 30-14. I think that's going to be the same exact score in this game. Jacksonville's not going to put up any points with this Jake Luton guy coming in. There's no way here. Houston should roll here. The spread I feel like is right though. I wouldn't touch this game from a betting perspective at 7. It kind of bumps me a little bit. Houston hasn't shown the ability to stop anybody, so they could allow some points to the Jags, but I'd stay away from this game. I don't like it. Has a weird feel to it, other than Houston winning the game.
Agreed.
All right, man, let's hop into our 4 p.m. games here. We've got the 4-3 Las Vegas Raiders. That might be a little surprising to some people. Traveling to the 2-5 Los Angeles Chargers. 1.5-point home favorites are the Chargers. Very, very close game here. Over-under set at 53. Have I got some stats for you guys on this game? Let's go. The Raiders, thus far, have played the toughest schedule in the NFL. Yet they are 4-3, and for the rest of the year, they have what is projected to be the 7th easiest schedule. they are a team to watch out for here in the AFC. They've already played the hardest schedule and have a winning record. Let's see what they can do from here on out. So things are looking up for them, I feel like. Meanwhile, in the past 4 weeks, the Chargers have blown leads of 17 in a loss, 17 in a loss, 16, a game where they won, and 21 points to the Broncos where they lost. Herbert, he can get them these leads, but the defense just can't slow them down in the second half. They make all these comebacks. Dr. West, who you got?
Yeah, I mean, I think the moral of the story is that Anthony Lynn shouldn't be an NFL coach. He's not very good. I picked the Raiders last week to beat the Browns, and they did in a total snooze fest of a game. They're going back to the West Coast, but I think that the Raiders are the better team. I never thought I'd be saying this at the beginning of the year, but I just have no faith in the Chargers. They just can't hold on to leads. The bright spot for them is that Herbert looks like he's a legit quarterback, and hopefully they can build some pieces around him with a new head coach. But yeah, give me the Raiders.
Yeah, Anthony Lynn is not the answer. When you have multiple 16-plus point, blown leads, and 3 of those games are losses, that's coaching, my friend. Like
Right.
that's just bad coaching. They are officially renamed the Fighting Justin Herberts. The man is playing so well. Very, very impressed with how he's doing. Vegas, I already got my pick up there. They are 3-1 on the road so far this year. The Chargers, we've said it a lot already, they can't seem to hold any leads. They make it out to a 21-0 lead. It's not safe. I'm going to take the Raiders and what I think is going to be a really, really fun game. It's an AFC West divisional game, so those are always fun. Typically, they're a little bit low scoring unless the Chiefs are involved, but this game's got fun written all over it. I think this is going to be a really cool game. I'm ready to watch this one.
Yeah, I mean, how much of a classic Chargers move would it be for them to hire Dan Quinn as their next coach?
That's wouldn't surprise me.
The ultimate, the blowing of leads coach. They'll go from Anthony Lynn to Dan Quinn.
Yeah, would not surprise me. It might be a good fit offensively for this team. I don't know. Took the Falcons to a Super Bowl. I could see that, but I don't think they have a chance here in this game, even at home. I think it'll be fun, though. 1.5. I take the Raiders plus 1.5 pretty easily here, I feel like. Over under 53. That could get blown away, in all honesty.
Yeah.
We shall see.
There's not. Yeah.
In a game where I think one team is going to get blown away here, we've got the undefeated Pittsburgh Steelers traveling to the 2-6 Dallas Cowboys. 2 touchdown road favorites for the Steelers with an over-under set at 41.5. Super low with a humongous spread. Very one-sided game here. Dallas is officially in dumpster fire territory. They have found it. For lack of a better word, this team is a shit show. Andy Dalton is now on the COVID list. They've lost 3 in a row. They've only scored 22 total points in their last 3 games. On the other side, Pittsburgh, they come in undefeated after very close back-to-back road wins versus the Titans and Ravens. This one's easy, right?
Yeah, I mean, again, it's almost too easy, which makes you worry, but this has to be your pick. I mean, the Dalton's not even there now, so the Cowboys are on their 3rd-string quarterback. The Steelers, I got to admit, I was completely wrong about them at the beginning of the year. Ben Roethlisberger has looked good, or at least serviceable. It's just their defense is just insane. And they're just clearly the better team. So
I could not agree more. I don't have much to add here. Pittsburgh should roll here. Spread, get out of here. It's going to be 28-3 this game. Come on. Come on. Give me Pittsburgh minus 13.5. Let's get away from that game. I don't want to talk about the game. That game's horrible. We've got the Miami Tua Tagovailoa is traveling to the 5-2 Arizona Cardinals. Cardinals 4.5-point home favorites here. Last week, Tua picked up his first career win versus the Rams, albeit in a game where he didn't do very much. He only had 12 completions on 23 attempts for 93 pass yards, 1 touchdown. He was helped out greatly by a pick 6 and a punt return TD for the Dolphins. And surprisingly, the Dolphins have won 3 in a row now, picking up some steam here. here. Arizona, on the other hand, they've won 3 in a row. They are averaging 35 points a game in those 3 wins. Offense just blowing people away here. Dr. West, can Tua get 2 in a row, or will Kyler have something to say about that?
I knew I should have taken Miami last week. It just felt like a good situation for Miami. I was so worried about Tua playing against Aaron Donald, but what we didn't account for is that the Rams were coming into a game where they had no tape on Tua. They haven't seen him since like before an injury in college. It ended up being that Tua wasn't the reason that they won. It was actually their defense for some reason decided to play. That being said, I mean, I think that overall the Cardinals are a better team. I think that the Dolphins are going to be coming down off the high of having a new rookie quarterback, and I think they'll come back down to earth. I do think this will be a close game, and I would probably be inclined to take the plus 4.5 for the Dolphins, but straight up give me the Cardinals.
Yeah, I actually I don't see Tua getting the same help this week that he did last week here from his defense and special teams and all that. His offensive stats, I think, are going to look a lot better versus the Cardinals than they did the Rams, but not as good as it's going to be enough to pick up a win here. I think it's going to be actually a pretty lopsided scoreline. Arizona's offense is playing on fire. I don't think Miami's defense can stop them here. I love the Cardinals and DFS stacks this week. Absolutely love it. Load up on Kyler. Chase Edmonds is in there. Kenyon Drake is out. Give me some Chase Edmonds. Give me some Hopkins. Throw in some Kirk in there. Give me all the Cardinals this week. I love only minus 4.5 points. I think this is easily a 7 to 10 point win for the Cardinals here. Load up on the Cardinals, and I jinx them into oblivion, and Tua gets his second win here.
That's what you do.
That's right up my alley. Put all your money on the Dolphins plus 4.5 points here because I have now officially jinxed my Cardinals. And that will now take us to our Sunday night game. We've got the 5-2 Saints. This is a big one, traveling to the 6-2 Tampa Bay Bucks in a divisional matchup here. New Orleans comes in 5.5 point underdogs here with an over-under of 52. It's about standard, right? New Orleans, they come in hoping to get back Michael Thomas and Emmanuel Sanders. Michael Thomas back from injury, Emmanuel Sanders off the COVID list. While the Bucks, they are welcoming Antonio Brown to the starting lineup. You ready for this? Dr. West, take this one away, man. I'm ready to go. This one's going to be fun.
This is a tough game. I mean, I think that coming into the season, everybody knew that these two teams were going to be fighting for this division. I took the Buccaneers, kind of not feeling very strong about it. And so I'll take the Buccaneers. I don't think they should be 5.5 point favorites, though. No way should they be 5.5 point favorites against a pretty good Saints team. And I don't think I say this every week, but I don't think the Buccaneers are as good as their record indicates. They just barely squeaked by the horrendous New York Giants. So I will take them, but not with any great conviction.
Sure, I thought I picked the wrong team there for a second. Yeah, I'm taking the Bucs like I have almost every single week so far this year, but I would take the Saints plus 5.5.
Yeah,
especially
sure.
getting back Michael Thomas and Emmanuel Sanders, and you still got Alvin Kamara. You still have Drew Brees, where, divisional matchup, it's going to be really tightly contested. 5.5 seems large for something like this.
Right.
In a game where I do think they get back Michael Thomas finally. I think he's been preparing for this game, let's say. I think they get him back. I think he's going to come back with some fire. Bucks win, but they don't cover. I like Saints plus 5.5 if you can get that number. I think that's going to drop throughout the week. I think that ends up getting to plus 2 by the time we get to Sunday.
You would think so.
Yeah.
But the Buccaneers are a popular team for the public, so.
Yeah, I agree. That will take us to, we got one game left this week. We're going to make this a nice and quick video for you guys, hopefully. AFC East matchup. I don't think they had this kind of record in mind for both of these teams when they made this Monday night matchup. But the 2-5 Pats traveling to the 0-8 New York Jets. Adam Gase is still there. I say it every week. I'm not going to talk about the Jets, but we might have to talk about this game, man. As we know, Bill Belichick, the guy plays 8D chess while everyone else plays checkers. So it's not entirely out of the realm of him throwing 2 games to the Jets to put them in the running for Trevor Lawrence. New England, they have lost 4 in a row. Cam Newton has looked like garbage. Meanwhile, the Jets have lost literally 100 games in a row, it seems like. Adam Gase is still there. Who are you taking on Monday night?
This is another game that I would not bet in real life. It just stinks. Just like you said, I mean, it would not be outside the realm of possibilities that Bill Belichick is just playing for next year or, the next 10 years. Um, that being said, I'm going to take the Patriots on principle. I'm hoping that Cam Newton looks like he did before COVID and can come out and beat this putrid Jets team.
I would like to think so. I would, as much as I would like to see Trevor Lawrence in a Patriots uniform, it's not at the expense of throwing games to the New York Jets. I want the Jets to go 0-16. I want Adam Gase to forever be under 500. The dude sucks. Doesn't know what he's doing. It's got to be New England. I've seen rumblings that people think Belichick's going to throw games to the Jets here. Cam Newton's not going to let that happen. He's playing on a contract where he's basically paid off wins, I feel like, at this point in his stats. So if he's starting and it's not Stidham, he's going to go out there and get this win. Give me the Patriots. I'm sure Steve would have the same thoughts. He hates Adam Gase. But let's go ahead and throw it over to the last segment. We've got our Survivor picks for this week. My weekly apology to you, Dr. West, for the Week 3 Cardinals. I say it every week. Steve has rallied off 7 in a row here, playing awesome. Other than that Week 1 loss for Philly. To not pick anyone that you might stumble upon here, Dr. West, I'll go and throw my pick out here. I'm going to take the Tennessee Titans to rebound and throttle the bad Chicago Bears, who are yet again underdogs. Tennessee is at home. The Bears suck. Give me the Titans here in Week 9. Who are you going to roll with for Survivor?
Yeah, I think I'm going to go. I think things are getting tighter, man. I mean, we're running out of teams to use, and this week is, I think, a tricky week. But I think I'm going to take the obvious, which is the Steelers versus the Cowboys.
Okay, Steelers versus Cowboys. That one's good. I think that one's really, really safe. If you do have the Steelers still available, you should use them. The Steelers can easily shut down Ben DiNucci. Let's be real, right?
Mm-hmm.
I don't think there's any question in that. One to switch mine up a little bit. Obviously, Pittsburgh was the very, very easy one. Give me the Titans. And that will about do it for this week, man. Any final thoughts for everybody before we hop out of here?
All right. Challenge me in the comments, people. You know how it is. We got the Justin Herbert here. He wants to find a new home.
Let's go.
So let's go.
Drop a like on the video, you guys. Leave a comment with all of your picks. We will add them up at the end of the week. Dr. West, should you beat him? Remember, it's beat Dr. West, not beat Anthony or beat Steve. You got to beat Dr. West. That's the important part. I'm easy to beat. If you beat Dr. West, you get the Justin Herbert rookie cards. That's simple, guys. Really appreciate you joining us for this video. Please consider subscribing. We have a video every single week. Steve will be back with us next week. Hope you enjoyed the video. See you guys next week.
Let's go, brother.